There are two entrances, a garden-style layout, and different sections mean memorial options can look very different just a few steps apart. I'll show you what to ask for before you pick a style. This is Green Hill Cemetery on Wharton Street. The hours are from 8 a.m. to sunset. There are two entrances. It's city managed, so rules are set and enforced by Greensboro Parks and Recreation. There are some beautiful plantings here with a lot of informational cards that identify the plants as well. Great place to have to visit, not only for the memorial, but to enjoy years later when you come back to remember. This is an example of a family-style monument that has markers surrounding it for the individual family members. I'll have a link in the description below for a copy of this map so you can print it out yourself. We are right here off from Wharton Street. This is a great example of a monument that has some permanent vases. Monument that has some permanent vases. This one's made from granite. Marble is a softer stone that needs a lot more cleaning than something more permanent like the granite does. This is a great example of customization of over the top, some customization of a marker. As opposed to the very simple, just rounded top marker. This is a great example of why the foundation is so important, so that you don't have the shifting and movement, why you need a firm base. Another really good example of the shifting and movement that can happen without a firm foundation and base installed. Here's an example of a bronze marker, flat to the ground. Here's an example of the family monument with individual markers. These are some really nice monuments with great foundations for them, so they're not going to be shifting. This is an example of polished stone, and then where it is sandblasted out to remove the polish to make the design show. The steel cut finish. This is a great example of a rough cut stone. Rough cut stone with the letters sandblasted out, but there's no polish. There are very many traditional types of monuments, but they can be in many different shapes. Different cemeteries have different rules and regulations over what they allow, but there's a lot more choices than you realize. And your monument and your memorial is specific to you. So make it say what you want it to say. And remember the way you want to be remembered. It is very common for there to be lamb figures for infants and young children. Lamb symbology. Here's an example of where they have the polished top, which is easy for it to be kept clean and things to wash off naturally with the weather. That curvature on the top is called a serp with some side pillars. Whereas a non-polished top stone, you'll get more of the natural weathering. If you like the look of the different colorations and the lichen and such, that comes from it not being polished. Just depending upon the look that you want. If you don't like the weathered look, you can contact a monument company to get a full cleaning done. Bring it looking fresh and new again. This is a good example of some artificial flowers, both in the vases and in a saddle that's sitting on top of the stone. Most cemeteries do not allow planting in them. Some of them with special permission will allow there to be a tree or a shrub or other planting in your plot, but you need to apply for permission. Green Hills does have an application process where if you want to have a planting, but you need to have it approved. Here's a great example of a wonderful, really unique monument and memorial that speaks for that person and what was important to them.